I'm PC John, part of the Metropolitan Police. I'm a Safer Schools officer. County lines is when, let's just say, a young person is involved in criminal activity and they are groomed by people within their area that they live in. Once they are groomed and they are ingrained in the gang, so to speak, they are moved out of their home area. Sometimes they are taken with the parents' knowledge. Sometimes they are taken without the parents' knowledge, taken to different areas. They don't know anything about that area and they are placed there to sell drugs. It could be weeks, it could be months. And once they've finished selling drugs, they would then come back to their area. I know that county lines wasn't really a thing. I've been working in schools now for at least 12 years. And county lines has been something that wasn't known of or wasn't heard of. Yes, young people went missing, but we didn't really understand or didn't know what was actually happening. But county lines now has become so common. And I think it's because young people are left, not purposely, but a lot of young people are left to their own devices, i.e. the world that we live in today, parents need to work more. There's less supervision at home. They have massive influences out there, like their friends. And I believe that is happening more because there's a lot of more vulnerable children out there to be groomed.
My name is Aisha and I work for a charity called St Giles Trust, and what we do is we help deter and prevent young people from getting involved in criminal activity and gang violence. My first experience when I was younger, my mum never used to really give me much money, so I wanted money for clothes. So a boy asked me, do you want to go make some money in county? And all you have to do is just transport the drugs from here, like London, to an area outside of London, so maybe like Margate, for example, to sell some drugs. And I did that for the first time when I was like, I was at 15, 16. So my average day, I would say I was probably wake up in the morning, get a phone call, do you want to go make some money? Think, yes, I'm going. I didn't even think twice. Go and meet the person that I have to go and meet to go and collect the drugs. They would give me money to get on a train. They would pay for my train ticket and I'll sit on the train with the drugs and I'll make my way to whatever the county that I had to go to drop off the drugs and come back.
In terms of county lines as well, what happens is a lot of the young people, they're set up, and this happens all the time. So they're set up, they would give them a train ticket, let's just say to Birmingham. And they would say to them, you need to meet this person in Birmingham. When you get there, they would give them all the information, all the instructions. But when they get there, they're robbed. And they're robbed by their same people that sent them to Birmingham. And the reason why they're robbed is because now they're debted to them. So now they say it's like £1,000 worth of debt. And you have to work this debt while you're away. And the debt never goes away. And they don't get paid for what they do. So now they're in a situation where they're working in an area in dire conditions with no money.
And I sat on that train for like 2 hours, hungry and bored because I didn't get food or anything.
They're not really fed properly. They are threatened that if they leave or run away, somebody will be hurt. They are physically assaulted. If they don't do what they're supposed to do, they are. If girls go and are part of county lines, sometimes they are raped, and they call this like a gang initiation thing. That is a humiliation thing, and sometimes they would even record it. So if they record it, then they said that if you try and leave us or you report us or go to the police, then this video will be released. So the threats and the abuse and the violence towards young people while they are away are absolutely horrific.
I would say that I'm a big product of my environment. So, and I feel like where you're from and who you hang with and who you talk to can make you a target.
Adults can also fall victim to county lines as well. It's not just children, because adults can put themselves in a situation where they can't get themselves out of. There's a lot of adults who take drugs, and that way in taking drugs, they are used by the drug dealers, especially street addicts. You know, we're talking your heroin using, your crack users. They are out in the streets. They know the area. They know the people that live there. They know that, you know, they all kind of stick together. They know each other. They know who's addicted to drugs. A gang member can approach them and say to them, we would give you free drugs if you can bring us more customers. At the end of that situation, the drug dealers would then turn around and say to them, well, you now owe us because we've been giving you free drugs. And they would then turn around and say, but I thought you said that, you know, if I get you customers, you still have to pay us these drugs. So you have to go out there and you have to get more customers, but you owe us.
They will get told that they're going to make, like, for example, £500 a week, but they won't get told the extent of, like, what they would have to go through. And the things that they'll have to go through will be like 24-hour shift. But in reality, that's like £4.16 an hour, which is way below the minimum wage. Then it's, you know, the locations may vary. So you might not be in London, you might be at the top of England. You won't be able to speak to your friends and family because you are constantly having to pick up the phone and answer to your drug dealer to sell some drugs. If something happens to you, like you are physically harmed or hurt, there's no such thing as A&E unless you're dying or something. But if you just hurt yourself or they've injured you a little bit, it's more about you have to just manage and continue selling my drugs because that's what's more important. But when a drug dealer is selling themselves or selling the prospects of making money, they never talk about the actual dangers that involves in the actual selling drugs. And it's not worth it because once your freedom's gone, it's gone. And spending parts of their life in there, wasting away basically, and not gaining anything from it. And yes, you can get it back, but the trauma is still there. The fact that you're on license, the fact that you've got a criminal record, all of that can affect you in your adult life when it's time to even go on holiday and go out of the country.
My advice that I would give to any young person who wanted to get out of county lines, the first advice will be is don't ever go in the first place. But if you do, my second advice will be find the police, find the nearest police station, the nearest police car driving past you, the nearest police officer walking past you, because they would listen. They would understand the circumstances. You're not the first child and you definitely won't be the last child. Seek help because the help is there.
Talk to someone if you're trying to get out, because talking to someone that's got some morals and an appropriate adult or someone that's a responsible adult, talk to them because they will find a way. Even if it's like you have no one but social services or even your teachers or educational settings, someone will help.
There's nothing that you can tell us that we won't have already heard or understand or even believe.
So if you're having any problems or need any like assistance or someone to talk to, we are very accessible. Like you can get access to us very easily. And our office is in Camberwell, South London. And if anyone's going through anything, you can pop in.